Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Brothers. My name is Gavin.
I'm Jeff.
And today we have another great review for you. We're going to be reviewing a double review, a comparison review, Woodford Reserve, New Cask Rye, and Aged Cask Rye.
Yeah, so these are part of the Masters collection, which these are the 2012 release from Woodford Reserve each year, as is now sort of becoming common. There's a special release, so this was their 2012 special release. The 2013 was a single malt. 2014 is still forthcoming.
Yeah, these are both bottled at 92.4 proof. They have no age statement. They're both, like I mentioned, 100% rye.
Yes, so that's a little bit different than your typical rye. Typical ryes are a blend. This is a 100% rye, and as the name sort of will suggest, one is aged in a new charred oak barrel, and one is aged in a barrel that's already been used. So sort of helps to juxtapose sort of how bourbon's done now and whiskeys are done now, and how they were done a couple hundred years ago.
Back
so
in the day.
Sort of shows a little bit of difference in style and how over the years whiskey has evolved. This is more of reminiscence of a time where there wasn't really regulations or stipulations on how your whiskeys and your bourbons were aged, what type of wood, what type of char, stuff like that. So I think this is a great experimental type product to put out.
Certainly. I'm a big Woodford Reserve fan, and when Jeff brought these over, I was really excited. So Jeff, let's not waste any more time. I want to get to tasting this. Take a look at the color real quick.
Yeah, so looking at the new cask, it's sort of a golden brown, I'd say, probably. Sort of a nice medium flavor, not too dark, not too light.
It's nice and deep, definitely golden brown.
Yeah, and I think shows a good nice solid color for a rye.
Absolutely, Jeff. All right, let's get into some nosing. That's really nice.
Yeah, I think mint's probably one of the first things that pops out at you.
Right. It's 100% rye, like we mentioned, getting that mint, kind of that evergreen. But then there are a lot of these other flavors that kind of wrap its way into the glass here.
Yeah, I think some of the traditional, vanilla caramel are there, which is you're usually going to find.
Sure, a little bit of spice, baking spices, certainly that rye spice, a little bit of nutmeg, and something peculiar, a little bit of chocolate.
Yeah, I think a little bit of honey too gives it a little bit of added sweetness, I think, as well.
Certainly sweet notes here. Jeff mentioned vanilla, honey, caramel, a little bit of ripe apple as well.
Yeah, I think it's nice nose.
It smells really good. So Jeff, guys, cheers. Jeff, one thing that I really enjoy about Woodford Reserve, it's kind of unlike a lot of other bourbons in the sense that while it may not be barrel proof, it still has a really thick mouthfeel.
Yeah, I think they sort of step up their mouthfeel game. It's for being only a 92.4 proof. It definitely has a little bit more, like you said, a denser mouthfeel, like more typical of a barrel proof.
Certainly getting some of that Kentucky chew going on it, and that's something I really appreciate.
Definitely.
It tastes really good. That baking spices, cinnamon still, rye still.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a lot of. We've reviewed some other ryes on here. I think this has a little bit of a different taste than a lot of those. You still got a little bit of the wintergreen, a little bit of wood, but it's sort of got a nice different taste to it.
It's good and it's kind of unique, and I don't want to say weird, but I'm kind of getting a little bit of berries as well. And it's enjoyable.
Definitely, yeah.
Again, for being 100% rye, very smooth,
Oh, definitely.
The rye is present, but it doesn't bite you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will say that rye is a lot harsher than bourbons and other whiskeys, but this certainly, for being 100% rye, not harsh at all.
No, it's very drinkable.
Definitely very drinkable.
Certainly something I could just relax on the patio with a nice cigar and a bonfire all night, no problem.
Yeah, this is really a very solid rye. I'd be in favor of them putting it in their regular rotation and just putting it out as their rye product. They don't, they don't have a rye that's always on the shelf. So
yeah, I mean, this is something that we're going to be sad when it's gone. I really enjoy it.
Definitely.
So Jeff, do you want to go ahead and rate this before we get into the aged cask?
Yeah, I think I'm going to put this at about 8.8 probably. I think this is a quality rye.
I really like it. I'm gonna have to go a little bit higher. I'm gonna have to go 9.0. I really enjoy this.
9.0.
Yeah.
Nice.
If I could buy this all the time, it would be something I would stock in the bar. Unfortunately, it's one of those annual releases.
And being 2012, they're certainly dwindling. So
yeah, I think Jeff, when he brought it over, I was ecstatic. I think he's been sitting on it for a while.
Yeah, I've had it sitting around a little while. Yeah. So glad to finally get it out and review it.
Certainly. Well, we're gonna sit this down for a moment, and we'll go ahead and transition into the aged Cask Rye.
Yes. So this obviously is a bit lighter. Let's see what we want to call this.
Holding it up to the light. Really light. Straw almost. Very
straw, light straw. It's not too much color to it, especially when you add ice to it. You get
right, and that makes sense. It's not it's an aged barrel. So
so you're not getting as much char, as much
not getting
flavor.
as much from the barrel as you would from a new one.
Correct. Yep.
So that's how most scotches are done. So it kind of has that Scotch look to it. Yep. Let's go ahead and take a nose, Jeff. Again, not characteristic of most ryes we've tasted. Even a little similar to this, but if I had to pinpoint a difference, it's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, it is subtle. There's not things necessarily jumping out at you. I think it is sort of a grassy rye. Yeah. You definitely pick that up, which is a big, I'd say, difference from
certainly some grass in here, certainly some hay, a little bit of citrus. Still getting some of that vanilla and caramel as well.
Yeah.
Which is, again, not very characteristic of a rye, but very enjoyable.
Cheers.
I will give some tasting. Again, with that thick mouthfeel, I love it.
Yeah, I'd say this is a little more grain forward. I think the grain, the rye, grassiness is a little more prevalent in the taste.
Not too spicy, but it's not biting you, but it's getting there, and it's still good.
Oh yeah, it's still good, it's still smooth. Again, subtle, I think, as you described on the nose, is also, I think, true with the taste.
There is some oak there. Yes. I wouldn't say as much as the new cask, which makes sense. Still a little sweet notes, vanilla, a little bit of caramel.
Yeah, it's good subtle flavor, grain forward.
Still fairly enjoyable.
Oh yeah, it's definitely enjoyable. And it's even maybe more so than this is different than your typical ryes. Right. The different characteristics, the different style, I think, adds something, expands outside of the box, the rye box, if you will.
Certainly. Both of these, fairly long finish.
Yeah, especially for 92
right.
for proof, I'd say it sticks with you for a good bit.
And still for this aged cask, I'm getting a good bit of mint and evergreen on the finish, whereas I was getting more sweet notes for the new cask.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sort of difference between the two.
Certainly more rye on this finish.
Yeah.
Very good. I guess my rating for this is going to be just a little bit lower, probably like a 8.5, 8.6.
I'd probably say, I think I'll go 8.5 as well. Yeah.
Definitely enjoyed it, and really looking forward to finishing these two bottles.
Definitely, this is I think a great experimental type thing. Even at the price tag, I think it's a quality buy.
Certainly, and it's one of those things where when it's gone, it's gone. So if you have the opportunity to experience it, certainly pick it up and ask questions later.
Definitely.
Well, thank you guys. That's all we have for you tonight. Cheers. Make sure you check us out below. We have our links to our personal blogs and our Twitter accounts. Have a good one.